Hey, what's up, Niner gang? Let me see if I can. All right, check, 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 check. Hey, what's up, Niner gang? Man, it's burning up in here, but it's game day, man. Finally, been waiting for this for a long time, and football season is finally here. So, one of the first things I want to get rolling here is, um, even though I don't really see anybody chimed in right now, I just want to let you guys know that the questions, if you guys can send me questions of what you guys want to talk about. I've been really stacked up on everything this week. It's been a rough week for me trying to get videos up and everything. But man, I couldn't get any videos up really that as far as going live. So I've just been stacking up my notes, getting ready for when I am able to put a video up. It's just been a rough week, one of them weeks where I just couldn't find the time, unfortunately. But yeah, my notes are stacked up right now. But you guys got to let me know what you want to hear about. Um, Anything you guys are curious about, I gotta know so that I can add it to the list. Especially if you guys do it live, that's the best way to go. Um, that's my thoughts on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the new signings that we had talked about this week. Wide receiver Willie Snead and Jordan Mills, the offensive lineman, the right tackle. So like I said, I liked both of these signings. They're both pretty promising because they were established veterans. Um, and I was a little off on Jordan Mills um, as far as I kind of downplayed his what he would do on this team, and it sounds like he's showing some good things right now in camp. He's winning his one on ones. So when he goes one on one with the defensive lineman, he's winning right now. Currently, he's looking really really good, and so that kind of led me to think too that because it's sounding like he is going to be really good at pass protection if he's good on those one-on-one blocks. So he might be splitting time on pass plays with McGlinchey, which would be really good for McGlinchey's injury that he had from last year. He's still recuperating from that. So that's pretty awesome to hear that he's doing really good. And Jordan Mills is showing real good things in practice right now. He just got here, and already he's showing good things. So that's really encouraging. Can't wait to see what he brings when he's got a few weeks under his belt. As far as Willie Snead as well, nothing too crazy so far. Um, I heard, well, actually, no, I'm wrong. I heard he pancake blocked Drake Jackson, our rookie defensive lineman, Drake Jackson, who's supposed to be a beast as well himself. He's been doing really good too. But that was one of the things that I talked about too. That Willie Snead should be a really good run blocker for us. You know, he's not a small receiver, so that's pretty awesome to hear that he's pancaking defensive linemen like George Kittle. That's very very impressive. That's not something to take lightly, man. There's wide receivers that can't even pancake block a cornerback. So to hear a wide receiver pancaking a defensive lineman and a very good one, from what it hears or from what I hear too. Well, Drake Jackson's kind of been the rage, so um, yeah, that's really good to hear from those two new signings, man. Hopefully, we get to see them tonight during the game. That's another thing right now. I kind of told myself I was like, man, if I can't do these videos that I wanted to during the week, man, I need to at least get something up before the game. So hopefully we'll get some of you guys chiming in during while I'm doing this live video. Send some comments. I've also got a link in the comments for StreamYard so you guys can call in and ask live. You don't have to share your video side of it. You can just call in and use your audio. But if you choose to show yourself on video, you can go ahead as well. That'd be cool. Um, one of the things I wanted to talk about is why I started this channel. Um, so as far as Niners stuff, I've been really addicted. I'm really passionate about the Niners, man, and I feel like no matter how many videos I save um, to wait till I get to work to listen to all night, um, it seems like there's just not enough content out there to fill my need for just 49ers therapy is kind of what I call it, especially during the season when we're before and after games, we just kind of need our 49ers fix, and that's kind of so. I just felt like there wasn't enough content out there, even though there's a lot. Man, I go through that in one night at work, and when I run out of videos to watch, I'm like, or listen to, I'm like, what now? Um, End up listening to some other Joe Rogan or something. I don't know. Depends what's interesting on my feed at the moment. But I just need more 49ers stuff, man. And I hope you guys do too. I hope you guys join in for that reason and others. But I want your guys' input too. Remember to send those questions, those comments, especially live when I go live. That's the best way so that we can have the discussion and I just don't answer it in a later video. We can do it live. That'd be really great. But yeah, man, McGlinchey's showing a lot of good things right now. He's looking really good. I think I talked about that before, that him and Trent Williams are the two best looking offensive linemen. And now Jordan Mills is kind of stepping into that role as well. So that's pretty cool. And maybe, even like I talked about before on the Jordan Mills video when we first signed him, maybe he can take reps and maybe move into a right guard position instead of right tackle. Maybe kind of just move back and forth, kind of like a Brunskill. Um, so we'll see though. But McGlinchey, another thing I heard was that he's been looking lighter too. He's lighter in his weight. He's lighter on his feet. So he's. It seems like that's kind of helped him with his blocking. So I guess if that's his optimal performance and it puts less strain on his legs, that's probably the best weight to be at for him. So I would assume maybe he'll just stay there and not try to put anything else on during the season. But yeah, man, that's really awesome for McGlinchey. That's awesome for us, man. We'll see what's going to go on with him at the end of this season. I believe this is a contract year for him as well. I have to double check on that, but I don't know if they're going to extend him, man. Um, the way Kyle Shanahan and this regime are, they like to play favorites and they like to stick with their guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give him an extension. Um, but we'll see. That's for another day. We're in the beginning of the season. It's kind of early to tell where his leg is going to be at, where his ability is going to be at. But man, first day of preseason, man, I can't wait for the regular season. But it's good to kind of get warmed up with some preseason football, man. Just something. I'm going to be taking notes during the game, and I'll be putting a video up after the game as well. All my thoughts on what I saw. So I hope you guys do the same as well. Jump in here after the game and kind of stick with us. But if not, then watch it maybe a couple days from now. Even I don't, as long as you guys do and leave your thoughts and put your input in, man, because I love other perspectives. It shines light on a lot of things for me, so I can see things differently. Yeah, not to get too deep into that, but yeah, I just like to see other people's or hear other people's perspectives as well as what they see on the field with different players and everything. So please add that, man. That'd be really great. But in my notes here, what I got as well as so Jason Verrett, he's he's warming up on the side of training camp. He's staying healthy, kind of getting back in the motion of everything and taking it slow from his, I believe it was ACL last year. Always, it's hard to remember whether it's ACL or MCL, but I'm pretty sure it's the ACL. Um, but man, it's just really, really cool to see him back in camp. And, you know, hopefully we can get him in the slot or even on the outside during the season because I think one of the big matchups that we're gonna have to look to is when we play the Rams and Cooper slot as a slot receiver. We don't have a super dominant slot receiver right now, but from everything that I'm hearing, Sam Womack and uh, Darquez Denard, they're looking good, and I think with the defense that we have, I think we're going to be able to slide linebackers and safeties in depending on different plays because I know D'Amico Ryans, our defensive coordinator, is not going to want to just have one look all the time. He's going to mix it up, of course. So I think he's going to be giving slot help, like sliding the safety down to help the slot, and then sometimes sliding the linebacker in to help in like cover one zones or some, you know, robber coverage. So Verrett, as far as coming back, maybe he can be a really dominant force in the slot. Um, or even Emmanuel Mosley came to our team as a slot receiver. So who knows, man? I don't know. I don't know how soon Verrett can get out there. Kyle Shanahan was also talking about maybe at the end of the season when if we get to the postseason, he could jump in there. So it doesn't seem like it matters to Kyle Shanahan when he kind of is back in the mix, but he's ready to take advantage of those abilities as an asset whenever they become available. So whenever Verrett's available, man, he's gonna be plug and play. Sounds like and that's great, you know. But another thing, so of course Lance, he's had his ups and downs in training camp, but he's been going against this really great defense that we have, and we had what a top five defense last year. So you guys have to remember we had a top five defense last year, but we're playing with basically uh, substitute teachers out there. You know, we got Josh Norman out there as a outside cornerback, man, and D'Amico Ryans was trying his best in every which way um, to kind of what's the word for it? Um, disguise. I don't know why I couldn't figure out that word. Disguise coverages, and even with the missing pieces that he had, the substitute teachers he had out there playing cornerback, a rookie, and he had Josh Norman. We finally got Emmanuel Mosley towards the end. We got him back from injury, so that was cool. But yeah, for what D'Amico Ryans did with what we had was really really badass to say the least. And now this regime, this franchise got him. We've gotten him some actual pieces to work with as well. So man, our defense should be way better than it was last year. And for Trey Lance to be having to go against that in camp is really tough. But you guys got to remember that we had elite quarterbacks going to, well, depends who you ask, but at least one elite quarterback that was going against our defense last year that was subpar of what we probably have this year. And so, we had Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott all in the playoffs, and our defense held them down to really, really manageable scores. So you guys got to remember that was last year. Trey Lance has to play against the improved defense of this year, who, before they were improved, made elite quarterbacks look like, I won't say scrubs, but they didn't look so great. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers, man, 10 points. Basically, our defense erased Devontae Adams last year from the game for the most part. Um, they had to go to Aaron Jones for most of the time, is what it seemed like. Whether it was both running and passing, they had to pass him the ball because it seemed like all the receivers were covered up for the most part. For Aaron Rodgers to only get 10 points in a whole game, that's saying something, man. So you guys got to cut Trey Lance some slack, and that's another thing I'm really excited to see is Trey Lance going against these different defenses. He's going to be going against the Packers today, and I don't know how many other starters are going to be playing, but we're going to see, man. But we just get to see a different look. We get to see what Lance looks like live in HD, man. That's that's badass. And as well as they're going to be practicing with the Minnesota Vikings this coming week. And that's another thing. We got what, 3 games in the span of about 12 days, which I know Kyle Shanahan was really pissed off about. But I mean, that's kind of good, kind of bad. As a fan, it's good because we get a lot of football in a short span of days. But who knows what kind of damage our team will be like getting inflicted upon them. So hopefully they can recover well. Ugh. But yeah, I know those spaces in between the end of the last game to the first regular season game is going to be stressful. I'm going to be really anxious, how I was just even for training camp and all that stuff to start as well, mini camp. Man, I've been waiting a long time for this. But yeah, man, I just can't wait to see what Lance looks like against all these other defenses. Um, One of the things that I think that these defenses, I do think, because this is something that we saw with Jimmy Garoppolo, but for a different reason, similar but different. Jimmy Garoppolo, he doesn't have the greatest arm. He can't throw it very far, very well usually. Um, he pretty much threw just short passes, so a lot of teams would just stack the box, put as many guys as they can in that middle and short range of the field. And because of his arm throwing abilities, ball throwing abilities, his arm ability, sorry. But with Trey Lance, I honestly think that we're still going to see that stacking of the box. And the reason being is Trey Lance is basically a rookie quarterback in the eyes of the league. I think they're going to put him to the test. They're going to be like, hey, man, you think you're an NFL quarterback now? Let's put you to the test. We're going to dare you to throw the ball. So we're going to stack all these guys in the box. We're going to stop the run game, or try to stop the run game, put as many bodies as we can in front of you so that we can try and stop that run game. So you have to throw the ball. And I think that's going to work in our favor. I think they're going to test him out in that way until the league sees that he is proven to be able to throw that ball, which I already feel. I mean, we've already seen him play a few games, and the whole league is acting like he's a complete mystery. No, we've seen him play. I've seen his arm talent, man. Now, he has had some get away from him, But man, I think the positives outweigh the negatives by far. Honestly, um, I don't have the stats right now, but he threw some really great passes. So I'm looking forward to that. I think they are going to test him in that way, putting all those guys in the box. But of course, that still has yet to be seen. We'll see. We might see it in the Packers game today, um, and we'll see how long the starters play and how many starters play. Um, I would like to see a whole quarter out of Trey Lance. I would love to see him be able to play a whole quarter because um, I know like when the preseason was still 4 games, a lot of times the starters would play like one series of the third or fourth game of the preseason. But with the little experience that Trey Lance has, I know Kyle Shanahan is already talking about he wants Trey Lance to play in the first and third game. And the reason he don't want him to play in the second game is because uh, we're going to be in Minnesota playing against, well, the team's going to be practicing against Minnesota during the whole week anyway. So that's going to be like a whole week long. Well, I don't know how many days it's going to be, but it's going to be days against the Minnesota Vikings. So there's no point in playing the preseason for the most part. Uh, who knows? Kyle Shanahan tricks us sometimes, so maybe he'll put him in for a series or something. But like I said in the past, I've seen starters go in for um, a series and come out, and I almost feel like that's pointless. It's like dipping your toe in the water. Um, I feel like, especially with Lance, man, we've seen him where he goes into games in the first half, he's struggling. He makes that adjustment emotionally and up in his brain too, um, strategically, all that type of stuff. He makes those adjustments at halftime, comes in at the second half of the game, and he's like a whole new player. He's adjusted to the whole environment. So I feel like he needs time. Like I think a quarter would be great for him to be able to play a whole quarter, get his feet wet, and kind of get used to the feel of things out there. So I would definitely like to see that. But um, we also have to remember that when he's in training camp and he's having these ups and downs, just like people were saying when Jimmy Garoppolo was in training camp, throwing 5 interceptions in one day, he's just trying stuff. That's what they said. Well, Trey Lance has to try stuff too. So you guys just be patient, man. Don't get worried. Trey Lance is going to try stuff, especially with the way Kyle Shanahan is. He's going to tell him, hey, man, on this play, I want you to throw it here. And whether Trey Lance wants to or not, whether that's what he sees or not, sometimes he's going to throw it there just because Kyle Shanahan told him to, because they want to see how things work out. So you guys can't really go too much off of the training camp numbers, if I'm being honest. I mean, like I said, man, everybody acts like it's a mystery. I have a lot of confidence in Trey Lance, man. I'm ready to I'm ready to unleash the beast. Honestly, I've been waiting. I mean, you guys probably seen this in my other videos, but as much as respect I got for Garoppolo, and just I like the dude as a dude. Like man to man. I have nothing but respect for him, and I appreciate all the things he did for our team. But at the end of the day, when I was watching those playoff games, I was just frustrated as hell. Um, I saw our team being a really great team, and we just couldn't get past that threshold because Garoppolo just he wasn't able to. And I know he has his really great moments, but they didn't come out. He was really struggling, and he was really holding our team back. Where Maybe some other mediocre quarterbacks could have gotten us further. And not to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is mediocre, but I mean, he's not the greatest either. He has flashes of being great, but um, he also has flashes of being a knucklehead. But one of the things I had heard about too was that Jason Poe and Burford, the offensive lineman, they had went with Trent Williams during the offseason to work out, and they've honestly been improving, and especially like I said before, that once the pads came on, it seemed like the offensive line, little by little, was gaining momentum and starting to do better and better. And Poe and Burford have been two of those guys, man. And Trent Williams spoke highly of them. So um, I don't really take that too lightly. People are seeing it. Trent Williams sees it, man. He was working with them. They went out of their way to go find Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman in the league, um, and asked to join him. See what a great does in his off season, so they can know what to do. And that's pretty badass, and it's showing already in their first training camp, man. So that's really great, man. That's because uh, two of the things I'm most worried about are the offensive line, and I think that's pretty universal with Niner fans that actually keep track of the team on a daily basis. The offensive line is probably the most worrisome position group in. I shouldn't even say it. It probably is. I'm like 98% sure that the offensive line is like the most worrisome position group of the team. So for two of those guys to be showing stuff like that is really relieving because, like I said, that's worrisome because barring injury, man, I think we've got a Super Bowl team on our hands. I'm really sure about that as well. Uh, we almost did it last year with Garoppolo. He was holding us back, man. He was basically shooting us in the foot. But with Trey Lance, man, I see the opposite effect. Maybe he's not going to be a huge reason as far as bombs away Patrick Mahomes type uh, leading the team completely. Maybe he'll just be more of a manager, but I think he'll be more than that, man. So um, I just I want him to stay healthy, man, and of course the offensive line um, plays a big part in that. So that's good to hear about those two offensive linemen, and then of course McGlinchey, Trent Williams, they're all doing good. They probably won't play today. Who else? Jordan Mills. That's really cool. And the centers, we'll see. We'll see how that goes, man. Who was it? No, I can't remember his name right now. Was it Brunskill? I don't know. I don't know. I was my brain. I haven't slept all night. I've been at workout all night. I get off at 7 in the morning. So excuse me if I lose it a little bit. I was really just trying to get a video out there for you guys, man, because I haven't been able to get no content really out there for the past few days, and it's been really frustrating. All my notes have just been stacking up, like I said. But anyways, moving on, man. One of the things that was being brought up a lot too was Trey Lance's grip on the ball, and I'm going to share a little story because so I didn't play quarterback, man, but if I could kind of use the mic for an example here, but I've always had a really strong arm. People tripped out on how good I threw, but I also had a wobble. And I just always wonder why the hell is it wobbling? Why can't I get a good spiral every time? And I used to grip the ball um, way at the back end like this. Then I just started kind of messing around with the grip, and I started gripping with my middle finger in the center of the football, with or without the laces. And I noticed that my spiral ratio increased like really, really dramatically, honestly. So, I mean, I'm not Trey Lance's coach. I'm not in touch with him. I would love to be. Um, so that maybe I could see if he'd be down to try that. Maybe if anybody out there has got an outlet to Trey Lance, um, tell him to try it out, man. Because, yeah, like I said, just that simple little tweak, man. I'm not a quarterback. I used to just mess around, play street football or whatever, as far as when I would throw the ball. I did play college football and all that, but um, I'm talking about throwing the football here because I was a receiver. So when it came to throwing the football, that's what helped me with spirals a lot. Was just that little tweak because it was always comfortable grabbing it in the back, kind of like this, with my pinky almost in the middle of the football. Then when I put my middle finger in the middle of the football, of course it's going to be you're going to be gripping the football like this instead of like this. So I guess it's because you're not flicking the back end of the football. It's helping it spiral better instead of flicking the back of the football and making the tail spin. It makes sense, right? Yeah. But anyways, man, our running committee, they sounds like everybody's looking good, man. So I don't really think we can go wrong there, man. Jordan Mason, he's it seems like you could almost say he's a standout. I think reason being I could say he's a standout is because Elijah Mitchell, um, he's established as the first guy up, the starter. I would assume he's pretty established. Now, who's second to that? Sounds like Jeff Wilson Jr. is showing back up at camp, man, and he's the veteran. I don't see them getting rid of Jeff Wilson Jr. Man, he's been here. He's the veteran. They like him. He's really good. Sure, he had some down days in camp where he wasn't doing so great, but I don't think some of these pros want to go so hard in camp every day and risk injury. I think they kind of want to take it slow here and there, kind of even out, man. You got to be careful. Kind of like, I mean, you guys know Kittle, George Kittle does that, man. He wasn't really showing anything at camp for a while there as well, and um, he's been showing up more, especially like on Trey Lance's 2 minute drill, which was really a minute and 20 seconds at camp, where he led a drive down the field with a minute and 20 seconds left. I believe he passed three of the passes on that drive went to George Kittle, man. So when it's crunch time and you need Kittle to step up, I think we're all pretty confident that Kittle's going to be that guy, man. I don't think it's going to matter so much about the practice, you know. And I think that's going to translate to Jeff Wilson Jr. as well. We know what he's capable of, man. He was our leading rusher when everybody was down, man. Jeff Wilson Jr. was our guy in 2020. And yeah, he's shown us he can be that guy, man. But he has other guys to lighten his load as well. Elijah Mitchell is most likely going to be the leading horse, man. And I hope they don't beat him into the ground as well. There's no reason to, I don't think. We've got TDP, Ty Davis Price, um, Jordan Mason, who's really standing out as well. Um, I mean, I don't know if Jamichael Hasty is going to be on this team, but just those four guys alone right there, man. If we keep all four of them, maybe we'll probably keep three and put one on the practice squad. Um, I'm pretty confident in that running committee, and I just hope they even out the load within the committee for the most part and don't lean on Mitchell too much because he's not the biggest guy. He did put on some weight for this season versus last season, where he kept getting hurt every couple games because he was the bell cow for the team. He was that rushing bull. So I really hope they lighten his load as well as not try and run Trey Lance like they did last year as well, too, man. I really hope they don't do that, which some people are expecting is probably going to happen, is they're going to be running Trey Lance a lot. Trey Lance a lot, not Lance a lot. Anyway, Ray McLeod, man. He was another guy. He was doing really good in camp. I guess he kind of twisted his ankle or something happened where he was kind of limping around a little bit. So after those first few days of training camp, and I don't remember if it was mandatory minicamp as well, but he was doing really good. He was no, it wasn't. Okay, it was just training camp, I believe. Ray McLeod, um, he was showing really good things, man. And like I said, he hurt something in his leg or his foot or something, so he kind of slowed down at camp. Seems like he's starting to work his way back, but as long as he's healthy, I think we're going to see good things from him. But the one question I do have is what about his blocking, his run blocking? Because this is a big running team. This is a run first team. So can he block? He's a really small guy, man. I think he's 5'9" and like 160 or something like that, 170. That's really small. That's like a 14-year-old. But yeah, man, I don't think he's going to be put in any run plays. But he should be probably our punt returner for sure. Now, as far as kickoff return, I don't think so, but we'll see. Uh, Devo better not take many snaps at kickoff return, man. I know. I mean, maybe in the playoffs, but yeah, that's not. But the other two safeties that are kind of battling for that starting role that was vacated by Jaquiski Tart. So we've got Talanoa Hafunga and we've got Tarvarius Moore, man. And it seems like they're both showing good things. But it's just always seemed like Tarvarius Moore has more of the athletic edge. But Talanoa Hafunga is a really good player, man. It showed in college. He was like, what was it? He was like the defensive player of the year. But he he's really smart, man, and he's really dedicating himself. It seemed like he really dedicated himself during the off season into learning the game more and building his body up so that he's bigger and more explosive. So we'll see, man. Last year we did three safety schemes where Hafunga came in and out. So I think we're probably going to see that again this year. And Tarvarius Moore's coming back from injury, so maybe Hafunga will probably he might be the starter, and Tarvarius Moore comes in every now and then, kind of taking it slow. But he's taking first team reps now, and he's looking really good. Tarvarius Moore is, so that's really great to hear, man. We got two guys right there. Seems like no matter what, we're solid because uh, everybody's saying our defense is really stout right now. The safeties are playing a part in that. That means Tarvarius Moore and Hafunga are playing a part in that. And you don't hear of them giving up big plays, really. So for both of them to be doing that is really great. Not only to have a starter, but for depth. We got options. So cool, right? But anyways, Ross Dwelly, man, he's been so Ross Dwelly's been a lot of people want to see him on the field. Whenever, especially when George Kittle has been hurt and Ross Dwelly's had to be that guy, he's always stepped up and he's always been a pretty great receiver. Now, um, it's been said a lot that he's not the greatest run blocker, though. So I think that's one of the things. Well, that's got to be the thing holding him back from all that playing time, man. Because if you're just putting Dwally in and it's basically pass plays and he's not a good run blocker, then it's obvious when Dwally's in, it's going to be a pass play. So unless it's an obvious passing down, then that doesn't really work because then the defense knows what you're doing. But from what I hear, he's winning a lot of his one-on-one matches, and I forget who he was matched up against. I don't remember if it was Greenlaw, but yeah, man, he's looking really good, dude. He's got good hands, really good hands, man. And like I said, when George Kittle's been down and he's had to be the guy to step up, man, he gets touchdowns. And even that ugly ball that Jimmy Garoppolo threw to him, I forget which game it was, but Dwally had to stop and wait for the ball in the end zone. So, and he had already beat his defender. So for him, it was good for him to block out that defender and be able to go up and catch that ball because that was just Garoppolo basically threw a jump ball out there for him, man. But who knows? I don't know if he's going to make it this year. You got Tyler Croft moving up the ranks, and I was going to pull up the depth chart on this video, but I think I'm so backed up on notes and everything that I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see at the end of towards the end of the video. But another thing is that everybody's talking about Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, looking pretty irrelevant. Um, so when he got drafted, I heard a lot of people saying that he was a really good quarterback, and his highlights and stuff like that was pretty much all that I watched. I didn't watch any film on him, but his highlights, of course, they're highlights, so they look good. But he did look good, and but everything I'm hearing, man, is just he's got a weak arm and he's just too indecisive. But here's the thing, too. I've also heard that with how bad he's playing in camp, he's also yelling at his receivers when they make a mistake, which uh, that's not a nobody's going to want to take your lead when you're not looking very great yourself, when your receivers are getting open and when they're super open, you launch the ball and they have to stop and wait for it, which it sounds like is happening really often, man. I've heard of this multiple times from multiple days of training camp where his receiver beats the coverage and he's way downfield open and they have to stop and wait for him because he throws everything he has into that football trying to get it out there and it's just like a pop fly and the receiver has to stop, wait for it, maybe even backpedal a little bit. So it sounds like Sudfeld's the clear number two quarterback, man. He's competent. It seems like he's a big boy. What's he like? He's like 6'5". No, yeah, 6'5", 6'7". He's a pretty big guy, man, and he can move a little bit. He's a veteran, so he's not totally dumb to the game, and he can throw a little bit, man. He's got more of an arm than Purdy, so uh, I don't know, man. We might have to get another third string quarterback. We'll see what this Jimmy Garoppolo stuff that's going on. um, I guess we'll lead into that. One of the things that I was thinking about was that if Jimmy Garoppolo, if the Niners are going to trade him, man, um, I kind of hope they don't release him. I would like to at least be able to get an offensive lineman or No, probably not two. But anyways, an offensive lineman. What was I just talking about as well? Oh yeah, maybe another backup quarterback. Um, something, man. I think I don't know. Yeah, I think I have to sit and think about that one. But I was kind of thinking, leaning towards the way is like as far as if the Niners are going to let Jimmy Garoppolo go, I would hope that we at least line up some free agent uh, signings in the meantime. So like, hey, and that's what I was trying to get to. You guys got to remember, I'm super tired right now, but um, basically with that contract money that we're going to free up, that 27 million for Jimmy Garoppolo, once that cap space gets freed up, that we can hopefully the Niners have already been on the phone with other free agents, be like, hey, when this happens, um, be ready. Let's have this contract ready. We want you here as soon as possible. Um, and of course, I want that for positions of need, man. I hope that's what's going on behind the scenes. But of course, all that's just speculation. Um, so we'll see. But um, some other good news: Javon Kinlaw, and Drake Jackson are both looking great. Javon Kinlaw coming off his surgery, and Drake Jackson, the rookie, for both of those guys to be looking good, man. For this defense to be elite, those guys probably got to play their part, man. I don't think we should load their plates too much because, like I said, one of them is coming off surgery, but he's looking really good. Taking it slow with him. He probably won't play today with the Packers, but Drake Jackson also, he's a rookie, so we can't just throw him into the fire right away. But I think he will be there for the obvious passing downs, man. I think he's going to be that guy on third down, third and long. He's the speed end rusher, so um, yeah, I think he's going to be the obvious passing down guy, and I think that kind of helps him in a way to um, like not take too many reps to where he's overwhelmed, but he can get reps on important downs where he's also well, he's really good at what he does, man. He's a speed rusher coming around the end. He's really good at it. So I think if we can work him into those third and longs, maybe second and longs every now and then by the end of the season, he'll be doing he'll be making leaps and bounds, man. But they're already looking good, both of them. He's Drake Jackson's over here doing backflips again in camp, so that's pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen the videos, I'll probably post one here pretty soon. But another thing I wanted to touch on was the defense during the regular season. So I think we all know that when our offense, well, not just our offense, any offense, when it's put under the microscope, when they're down a lot of points, that's when offenses fall to a lot of pressure, right? So, hey, you're behind a lot, you got to push the ball more, leads to a lot more mistakes. Now, the reason I bring this up is because for our defense, if it's really as good as everybody's talking about right now, and we're a top three, if not number one defense this year, then I think that's going to go hand in hand with Trey Lance. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't think that, like I said, if this defense is really as good as everybody is saying it's going to be, I don't think we're going to be behind or like opposing teams are going to be scoring very much. I don't think they're going to have the ball very long. I think we're going to be playing keep away a lot more, like a lot better, because the defense is going to get us the ball. Our running game is going to be better with Trey Lance, and he's more explosive, man. He's going to be pushing that ball down the field. So the defense is going to be helping to take that pressure off of Trey Lance to score points. So it's going to lead to less mistakes. So I'm really looking forward to that, man. Um, I really hope that's the way it goes. And um, yeah, man, you guys got to remember, like I said before, those elite quarterbacks that struggled against our defense last year. You don't think they're going to struggle against our defense this year, if not even more than they did? I'm looking forward to that matchup against Tom Brady. I want to see what he can do against our defense. I hope it's nothing, honestly. I hope the Niner fan comes out in him and he just throws the game. But another thing too is like Trey Lance. A lot of people are saying that, and I'm not saying we shouldn't get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, but they're saying, "Hey man, you guys need to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Uh, it's too much pressure for Trey Lance to have to see him in the back of training camp throwing the ball around." Dude, Jimmy Garoppolo had to deal with it all season. That kind of lit a fire under his ass, and he still didn't play so great. He had to deal with it all season, man. I'm sure Trey Lance can too. I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying I want him to, but if that's what the team decides to do, then Lance is a professional now. He has to deal with it. At the end of the day, we're all men. We all have to deal with stuff like this. It's real life. But yeah, man, I don't think it should ruffle his feathers too much. I think he kind of just has to put himself in Jimmy G's shoes as well. But I don't know if you guys heard that they had unfollowed each other off Instagram. So I don't really know what's going on with that. I didn't double check into that, but I don't know. Kind of makes you wonder a little bit. But I don't know. Kyle Shanahan was talking about they'll probably release Jimmy Garoppolo by August 30th, the final 53-man roster day. That's August 30th. Now, um, I don't know. He might just be throwing us for a loop, but August 30th, what's today, the 12th? So um, look for if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get traded by then, he might be released. Kyle Shanahan, for the most part, I think has been a man of his word, even if he kind of seems like he's being mysterious sometimes, trying to gain the advantage. I think he's been pretty honest for the most part. But I think part of what everything that's been going on too is that we all saw what happened. After the regime with Jim Harbaugh, what happened with him when Alex Smith got injured and Colin Kaepernick was pushed to be the starter. We all, everybody had their suspicions, but afterwards, after Harbaugh was out of the Niners, it all came out, man, that a lot of the veterans didn't like that Kaepernick was taking Alex Smith's job due to injury. Um, I didn't like it at the time. Um, it seemed like a lot of the players didn't like it, and that made the team kind of fall apart. And they lost a lot of trust and respect in Harbaugh. And I think that's a lot of what Kyle Shanahan's kind of going through too, or has gone through the past year since drafting Trey Lance. Man, I think he's been kind of trying to avoid um, that dilemma. I think that's why he gave Jimmy Garoppolo, not just that reason, but I think that's part of the reason he gave Jimmy Garoppolo the whole year to kind of, hey man, this is your farewell tour. If you get us to a Super Bowl, hell yeah, maybe you'll buy yourself another year here. But if not, hey man, good riddance. You know, here's our new young gun. So that's just kind of something I kind of had thoughts about. So let me know what you guys think about that. But Jawan Jennings um, hasn't been doing too great in camp, man. But I think kind of like Jeff Wilson Jr., George Kittle, even Brandon Ayuk, um, even Danny Gray, man. They've kind of started out slow, but I think Jennings is going to show. I think he's still going to show up in the games, man. maybe, some players after their first year, if they see a little bit of success, they kind of drop back and they don't work as hard the second year. I don't think that's the case for Jennings. I think when it comes to game time, he's going to be that solid guy that we look to on third down again, or just any down, just our solid number three receiver. I think he's going to show up. And then big play Tay as well, man. He's showing some stuff with the level of competition that he's competing against as far as the other receivers on the team. He'll probably end up on the practice squad. Don't quote me on it, but I think there's just not enough slots on the team. But he's showing good things, man. He's making plays. He's not blowing it up at camp, but he's doing things here and there. So he's a work in progress. Keep an eye out for that, man. Big play Tay. I got high hopes for him. A lot of people do. Who was it? I think Larry Kruger. I heard him talking about Big Play Tay, and I can hear his voice right now too. Big Play Tay. Yeah, yeah. He liked that guy as well, I believe. But yeah, let me see. Frank Gore, man. I don't know if you guys heard about this. I'm getting to the end of the video here, but Frank Gore, and I really hope these are just allegations because at this point, this is what this is. If you guys haven't heard about it, Frank Gore was in the news for domestic dispute in Atlantic City at a casino, and there's there's just reports on it right now. Police report, and I believe a report from the hotel as well, but no footage that I know of has come out yet. So it's not proven in the public eye yet, but the allegations are there, and I really hope this isn't true, man. This goes against all the character that we've known uh, Frank Gore to have his whole tenure with the 49ers and just his whole career in football and outside of football as well, man. He's been a great leader, uh, kind of a great man in the public eye. So, I mean, you never know somebody, um, these celebrities, um, these football stars, you never fully know them, man. So you can't put it past anybody, but um, it's definitely a shock. And I really hope it's not true. I hope this is just an allegation and that it'll all get wiped away. But, you know, if it's true, it's true, and he's got to deal with it. And I hope he's in his best, best in his best state of mental health, man. He did take a lot of hits in football. I'm not gonna put an excuse up for him, but you know, a lot of football players do come back with these brain injuries that kind of last their lifetime, and they end up committing suicide and doing really erratic things later on. Like even Richard Sherman was in the news recently, or Marshawn Lynch as well. I don't know all the details of Marshawn Lynch, but he had a run in with the police like the day before Frank Gore, and then Richard Sherman had that incident where he was drunk and I believe he was driving and he showed up to his in-laws house completely drunk, and he just got out of the NFL as well, man. So whatever these guys are going through, seems like Sherman has found his way, maybe through his podcast. I would assume that would help him a bit, man. It's kind of an outlet. It's kind of something to look forward to. So um, I hope that's providing him with some solace. But I hope all these guys can find something like that, man, because they're all role models. Marshawn Lynch, you know, Raiders, Seahawks. I can't stand him as an opposing player, but you can't deny his his greatness as a football player, as well as Frank Gore, man. At the end of the day, these are human beings, and I wish them well. I hope everything works out very well. But I'm just looking forward to the future of the 49ers, man. I'm looking forward to this game in what, 2.5 hours? Yeah, man. Finally, I'm gonna be taking notes during the game. I'm thinking about doing some some like live reactions to some of the regular season games, maybe even some preseason. Well, now I think during preseason I'll probably just be taking notes more than anything, mental notes, written notes. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking about during the regular season I might do some live game watching reaction. So let me know what you guys think about that. You guys comment please. Let me know what's going on, what's on your guys' mind, what you guys would like to see, what questions you'd like to ask, all that type of stuff, man. I'd love to hear it, but let me give you guys a couple seconds here. But yeah, man. Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, if you guys could comment, I'm going to. Um, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna try and watch this Plus. I was gonna get the whole DirecTV Sunday ticket thing. They want me to agree to a 2-year contract. But the funny thing is, if you guys don't know, DirecTV only has the Sunday NFL Sunday ticket for this season, and then their contract is up. So if DirecTV is trying to sign you up for NFL Sunday ticket, just remember they're going to try and get you to agree to a 2-year contract, but they only have NFL Sunday ticket for 1 year. So I asked them, how does that work? That doesn't make any sense. What if I agree to a 2-year contract, but you guys don't have NFL Sunday ticket for 2 years? It's only going to be 1 year. If that is not even a full year, doesn't doesn't that go against your guys' own side of the contract? How does that work? You know. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna watch it on NFL Plus. I signed up for NFL Plus Premium. That's $10 a month. Um, so I get all out of market regular season games. I think you guys look it up, but get all the preseason games. Um, I'm trying to use a VPN on my TV to see if basically I can uh, use NFL Plus. What's it called? Um, what's it called? Game Pass. It's NFL Plus, but around the world, not the U.S. So I use my VPN to send a signal that I'm from or I'm in Canada or Germany or something. And so I think it's Game Pass International. So I'm trying to see if I could set my TV up for that. But you guys should let me know what you guys are watching on, man. How you guys are watching the games, um, especially if you're not using DirecTV. Because if things don't work out the way I'm watching the games right now, I might just have to go and get DirecTV. It's gonna bum me out because I really don't want to sign up for 2 years. And if I decide to sign up for just 1 year, they want to charge me $94 a month plus $400 up front. So they're tripping, man. They're walling out at DirecTV. I don't know what they got going on, man. No love, no love whatsoever. Yeah, man. Comment, like, subscribe, please. Um, let's get this going, guys. Let's have a good game day. I'll hit you guys up after the game, man. Take care.